I'm jumping in with my clothes on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a presentation of Unidentified Entertainment and 22nd Century Radio. Manassas, Fairfax, Washington, D.C.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is the Time and Space Radio Show. Find us on Twitter, at Time and Space US. This time around, let's talk about cryptocurrency. I thought that would be a really interesting topic to touch on. And I was hesitant to even touch on this topic. I was going to wait a while before I got into it and let some other things play out. But my son played this video for me a couple of weeks ago, and it caught my attention. I'll put the link in the notes, because even though it was comedy and not really meant to be an informative thing per se, I want to be clear, I'm not knocking this guy. The video was hysterical, of course, but he kind of blurted a couple things out. It sounded like maybe he misspoke when he was talking about cryptocurrency, and it just caught my attention. The guy I'm talking about, of course, is Felix Schellberg, basically the king of YouTube. You might know him as PewDiePie. This guy has over 61 million subscribers, and in 2016, Time Magazine named him one of the world's 100 most influential people. Anyway, PewDiePie, very, very interesting guy. He probably didn't misspeak about cryptocurrency or anything, but I needed to do a little homework to follow up on the story that he was covering, and it led into this whole segment, so I wanted to do this for people that are not familiar with cryptocurrency. I'd like to provide a brief explanation of cryptocurrency to cover a few items that should both entertain and inform you. It is important to note I'm not some sort of currency or finance expert at any level. I'm just trying to do some responsible research and share the findings with you. I will not be attempting to provide any kind of financial advice in this segment, except to say do not sell your house to buy Bitcoin. The Time and Space Radio Show is not responsible for your stupidity. Let me just say there's an awful lot of, hubbub about cryptocurrency, and it's safe to say that there's a lot of bad information out there too. So let's start with the basics real quick and cover what cryptocurrency is, okay? Cryptocurrency is a type of virtual money. It is based on a technology that is commonly referred to as blockchain. A blockchain is a continuously growing list of records called blocks, which are linked and secured using cryptography. Basically, the cryptocurrency is actually creating a public, open, digital ledger of itself that cannot be modified by anyone. Cryptocurrency provides an outlet for personal wealth. It's a virtual means to store wealth. It is not subject to third-party intervention, third-party fees, taxes, commissions, anything. It just exists on its own. It's often compared, for one example, to gold. It's a little more complicated than that, but gold and cryptocurrency have a lot of things in common, a lot of features in common. It is not cryptocurrency beyond restriction and confiscation, but it does exist outside of banking and government. There's no corporation, there's no government, no bank, no entity that does or should control a cryptocurrency. And all I can say as far as advice when you're really getting into this subject, you really got to mind your details. Make sure you're paying attention to the details. I'm not going to sit here and give you anything more than kind of a history and some interesting information about it. If you want to learn more, get online, do your homework. It's a complicated topic. There are so many variants of cryptocurrency now that, frankly, it's really intimidating to try to comprehend any of it. I mean, it really is. But I'll touch on a few things, and hopefully you'll pick up some good information here. So where did cryptocurrency come from? When we're speaking about Bitcoin, which is a type of cryptocurrency, the invention of Bitcoin is credited to someone named Satoshi Nakamoto. The first Bitcoin was created January 3rd, 2009. Essentially, for lack of a better description, it was released on the internet, and it just started doing its thing, right? There's no company or government that controls Bitcoin. It literally just exists on its own now. If you think about it, it's impossible to eradicate. You could try to outlaw it, and it's not going to be eradicated. Who is, the famous question, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? As the joke goes, for anyone who's heard it, I am Satoshi Nakamoto. The real Satoshi Nakamoto apparently remains a mystery, and nobody actually knows who this person is. So, just for what that's worth, have fun, reading up on that. And when I'm talking about Bitcoin, I do mean Bitcoin, right? The king of all cryptocurrencies. You have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, Dash. There's all these different types of cryptocurrency, and those are some of the major ones right now. Anyway, rather than go off on a history of Bitcoin any further, I'd like to direct you to a film, a documentary. I really liked it. I would like to drill down into one specific point that was in this documentary. There's multiple documentaries out there, but I would like to recommend, and I'll put a link to it, one called Banking on Bitcoin, which is available on Netflix. This is a 2016 documentary directed by Christopher Canucciari. It has lots of fascinating information and history about Bitcoin. It's only 83 minutes long, so it's easy to watch. And if you want to know more, I suggest you check that out. One highlight from that film that was absolutely amazing to me, and let's be clear about one point of controversy surrounding cryptocurrency. This really, some people want to know what the purpose, let's say, of cryptocurrency is, right? This point is really highlighted well in the film. So there's cryptocurrency. You have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, others that I could name. And there are cryptocurrency exchanges, okay? Two different things. Now remember what I said before about cryptocurrency. No company or government controls Bitcoin or controls cryptocurrency, okay? An exchange is a company or a similar entity that allows you to store and exchange your cryptocurrency. In a way, sort of like a bank, I guess, right? Now, to be clear, you do not need an exchange for any reason, really. Blockchain technology allows you to create something called a wallet to store your cryptocurrency in. This wallet, believe it or not, can actually be downloaded completely offline where no one else can get to it. And you can store your cryptocurrency that way. If you use an exchange, you're taking a risk. You're putting your cryptocurrency, like any other kind of money, in any other type of exchange. Now again, this is not financial advice. This is simply reality, okay? I'm not trying to provide advice to you here. I'm telling you how the technology works. And I'm sorry, but too bad for the banks and the governments. This is just fact. This is what's going on. So understand that there's cryptocurrency and there's exchanges. Back to the movie Banking on Bitcoin. There were so many interesting facts. This easily, by far, the most incredible fact in the documentary. Fact, statistic, whatever you want to call it. 2.5 billion, with a B, 2.5 billion adults in the world do not have access to bank accounts. I'd like to repeat that, so I'm being very, very clear. 2.5 billion adults in the world do not have access to bank accounts. Now, to highlight this point, this incredible statistic, the statistic was stated in the documentary by Wall Street Journal columnist Michael Casey, and the filmmakers included a graphic. The graphic is meant to show the concentration of the 2.5 billion adults who do not have access to bank accounts. Now, they show the graphic at about 21 minutes, like almost dead on the 21-minute mark into the documentary. And access to bank accounts, I'm making kind of air quotes here, is highlighted by these little images. They sort of look like Monopoly game pieces, if you will. It's like a little standard bank icon. I think it even says the word bank on it. And they're popping up these, where people have access to banks. They're popping them up all over this world map. There are no icons that pop up in either South America or Africa. Now, this is a radio show, so you're going to have to go look for the graphic on your own if you want to see it. Netflix is a subscription-based service, obviously. I'm providing a link to the movie Banking on Bitcoin. 2.5 billion adults in the world don't have access to bank accounts, and to illustrate this, the filmmakers are essentially saying that the 2.5 billion people are in Africa and South America. Let's be clear, those are not countries, they're continents, okay? It's two different continents, 66 countries. 2.5 billion adults do not have access to bank accounts, do not have a way to store and manage whatever wealth they may possess. That's really incredible. I have traveled a lot. I've been to South America. I've been to Africa multiple times. Take my word for it. I was there. I didn't see a Wells Fargo. Okay? If there were ATM machines there, they weren't Bank of America. Barclays might be the primary sponsor of the English Premier League, but good luck finding a branch in Liberia or Zimbabwe or Gabon. I mean, when I was in the hotels, I don't remember. I just can't recall seeing Jennifer Garner or Sam Jackson asking me, what's in my wallet as I'm sitting in Paraguay. Okay, apparently I'm lucky to even have a wallet because 2.5 billion adults in the world don't have access to bank accounts. To really hammer this point home before we take a quick break, in contrast, how about this? A headline from Fortune magazine, I'll put it in the notes, from just 3 weeks ago at the time that I'm doing this recording. Here's the headline. Arizona Senate votes to accept tax payments in Bitcoin. We'll get back to cryptocurrency in the next segment at Time and Space US on Twitter. Thanks.
22nd Century Radio.